Hello guys, my name is Stefan Forté. I'm playing guitar for the band Adagio, and today I'm gonna show you some of my presets on the new Positive Grid Bias FX. Okay, this is what I'm using live and in the studio. As you can imagine, that would be pretty tough to use this when working at home. So for years, I've been looking for an app that could allow me to simulate my sound in my small home studio. And finally, there it is. Let's have a look at how it works. Okay, so before we go through the presets, I'm gonna show you a bit about how I'm setting up my Cubase so that you understand why the tracks are like this. Okay, so the first track is actually the main track, the first track I've recorded. So it's like right in one piece. Okay, as you can see, some places are sliced, and it's simply because I wanted to use a different sound for rhythm tracks. So what I did is I cut the track at the right spot and opened a different bias for two other rhythm tracks. Why two rhythm tracks? Thing is I like to have it doubled. I like to have my guitars doubled for rhythm and pan them left and right. So the first one is left, the second one is right. And actually the bias opened here is exactly the same as this one, but of course different than this one as this track is the lead track. So let's go through the first preset, the lead sound. Let's listen to it. Okay, so let's have a look at it. Right now we have the pedal board. You can view your bias FX with two different views, the pedal board, which looks pretty cool, and the chain. So my chain, I have a pretty simple one, pretty simple chain for the lead sound, which is basically made of a gate to clean up the input signal, um, a preamp. This preamp is actually, in general, when I'm using an amp, I like to have the signal with a bit of boost when entering the amp. And so I'm using a pedal, an overdrive pedal or a distortion pedal or whatever. Right now, the way I'm using this amazing preamp, which is called Preamp 1, is not only to boost the signal, but also to give more gain. I like to have a lot of gain because I'm just doing metal. So here, as you can see, on the amp, the drive is pretty okay, not that loud, but on the preamp, it's maximum. This could cause some distortion sometimes, which is the reason why also the gate helps. There is another noise gate here, a main one, but to be honest, it's so good, it's so efficient that it's a bit too much. So I prefer to use a gate before, and if necessary for some rhythm tracks, I'm using this noise gate, but in general, I'm just using the gate pedal in front of my chain. And finally, the delay pedal, 7 different delays. I like this one. It's pretty simple. I'm not using the modulation, but if you want, you can add some chorus here. My feedback is pretty low, and the blend is like 50-50. And that's basically it for the lead sound. So let's give it a listen again. Solo maybe. Now with the backing. Oh yeah, and one very cool thing I forgot to talk about is this knob on the drive, on the preamp. I like to have a very organic sound. I like the sound of Stratocasters, single coilish kind of sound. And the cool thing with this preamp, in comparison to the other drive pedals available, is this one has this crunch button, which gives me this tone, this kind of tone, this kind of vintage Ingve kind of tone I'm looking for. So you will be able to hear it a bit better with the crunch preset uh, I'm going to show you. But yeah, this is really an amazing feature. Okay, so let's go for the rhythm tone now. So, as I've already explained, I have two guitars, one totally panned left, the other one panned right. I have two biases opened, the exact same ones, and actually, it sounds like this. If I turn off the backing track, it sounds like this. And one thing I didn't show is if I turn off bias, it sounds like this. Okay, so that means that everything you're hearing here is only coming from bias effects. So let's open it and let's have a look. As you can see, it's a bit different than the lead one, basically because it's a dual tone. What is a dual tone? A dual tone is enabling you to have two amps and to blend them together in case you like something from one or something else from the other one. Here, yes, they are identical. It's the same amp. So what did I do here? Well, I just wanted to have a different setup, mic combination, actually. So the first one has a SM57 right in front of the cone, so that I have all the precision and the aggressivity of the eye hand. And this one also have a 4x12 tread plate as a cab, but has a C414 microphone placed here. So let's have a listen on how each individual amp sound. If I mute this one, you can really hear it doesn't bring a lot, but the tiny, I mean, yeah, it brings a lot, but what I mean is it's not really, you can't really see it or hear it at first, but if you pay attention carefully, it really brings the definition. Okay, so now the other one, if we mute this one, well, you lose everything else. So in terms of the chain, the way it is, you have the preamp, my favorite preamp one in front. This time it's reused as a boost, as the drive is off, almost off. It's on one. The crunch is pretty high. You have the splitter, you have the 2 amps, and then you have the mixer, and you will notice that the one with the C414 is mixed higher than the other one. It's simply because I prefer the tone of this one, and the other one is just here to bring a tiny bit more high hand. Sorry. Finally, at the end of the chain, we have 10 bands EQ, just to correct a bit the unwanted frequencies and correct a bit the overall sound. So again, with the backing track. And finally, for all of you who thinks that this bias FX is just a war machine, only destined to do some metal or very aggressive kind of music, well, you're totally wrong. And the proof is with this tone, I was really looking for something natural, something that really reflects the sound of the guitar and of the amp. And let's have a listen to it. I've recorded separately so that I could have the overlay of the initial guitar to this one, just like on the original song. So here, even when I'm changing the pickup, you can hear the tone difference. It's pretty unbelievable. Let's have a look to the preset, to the chain. So once again, we open it by the preamp one. Here I'm gonna make you listen to the crunch effect. I've recorded a different track so that you can hear the the sound a bit longer. So right now we have a very typical bluesy kind of crunchy tone coming from the split of the bridge pickup. Now if I'm playing a bit with the crunch knob, it brings the bite. It brings a very nice bite actually. Okay, so this thing is really amazing. Next, we have a dual tone again. First amp is a 69 plexiglass, second one 63 blues G45. Pretty much the same thing as what I done for the rhythm track. I'm just combining amps to have different kind of tones. Mixer, still the same thing, and the reverb, pretty simple pedal with a pretty high level of reverb, sorry, and the reverb type is a hall.